Hola, mujer.
Hola, Habibti.
So good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. We're having a vacation starting from today. It's the Lunar New Year. It's Tet holiday here. Just like the Spring Festival in China, Chinese New Year. So it's the first day off. We're going to have 8 days off, which means I'm going to have all the time in the world to be editing this episode fast, unless I somehow manage to wonderfully procrastinate somehow.
Alhamdulillah. I cannot wait for this fastest edition ever. Really, really wonderful. Do you have any other plans for this time? How do you usually spend your holidays? I remember you hated them some time ago.
Yeah, I still don't prefer having a lot of time off like that, but it's okay. Feeling lazy already. That's why today, I spent like 3 hours and a half napping in the afternoon, and my day is starting again. Now it's 10 p.m. It feels like morning time. I might visit some friends in the countryside to go say Happy New
Awesome.
Year, maybe give what they call lucky money to the babies, play with the babies also. But no plans have been confirmed so far or yet. But like every
see.
Lunar New Year here, I was in Vietnam. That's what I did actually. I would go visit some Vietnamese friends in their villages. Whoever invited me, or whoever accepted me inviting myself into their homes. So because I'll be like, hey man, can I come visit you? Basically, that's what I do every year. I'm like, okay, hi, can I come visit you? And then sometimes they say yes, and I just go, yeah, because that's how you can feel it. That's the only way. If you don't go into people's homes and see what they're eating, drinking, wearing during that time, you wouldn't really feel this vibe. It's just going to be another boring day. And everything in the city closes down, like from tonight, like or restaurants, shops. Like yesterday, I was fixing my bike, and the mechanic said you have to come today before noon, because at noon we're gonna close, and you'll have to wait until the 14th of February to get your bike back. But I got my bike, so cool.
So why is it so many days? Like I think we don't have any single holiday in Europe that would give you so many national holidays to celebrate. Is there any traditions requiring this amount of time, or is it just like so important that they all collectively take days off these days?
It's the biggest holiday here. It's like Christmas maybe in Europe or something. I'm not so sure. So here it's 7 days actually. So 5 working days and the weekend. So it's just 7 days, but officially it's just 5 working days.
Yeah, it's a lot. For Christmas here, it's 2 days, sometimes 3.
For me, I'm not surprised, but I don't find it really weird. Like, for our Eid, we take like 5 days as well, sometimes a week. So like the big Eid that we have, it's usually kind of like a week off if you work. So it's a similar arrangement here. So I like it. I like that part, that length of the holiday. A whole week is a good time. Some people would take 2 weeks actually. It depends on the establishment that you work for. But banks we're working today, they'll just stop from tomorrow, and they'll be back, I think, on the 15th or the 14th probably. I'll be back to work on the 15th, not the 14th. So yeah, I'll have 8 days in total, because we started early. We started from today, but banks are starting from tomorrow.
Wow. And the restaurants are closed too?
At least for the first 3 days. Yeah, like most people go to be with their families. It's like an obligation. It's you have to be spending a New Year with your family. You have to be welcoming the New Year with your family. That's how you're gonna have better luck in the New Year. And failing to do that is very frowned upon. So most people will not really be working. They're just gonna be spending time with the family, eating, drinking, visiting each other in their homes. They call it chuktet, which is just go around and say Happy New Year to people and visit in their homes. Give little bits of money to the kids and maybe gifts to friends and family. It's a good time usually. You see now a lot of trees everywhere. Like they have the kumquat tree everywhere. It's a sign of prosperity or something. I love it, actually. It's like the equivalent of a Christmas tree here, but in green and orange. And to me, it represents the color of winter, because in Egypt, that's the season for oranges and tangerines. But like this festival here, it marks the beginning of spring, actually. So in 2 days, spring is starting. They have a different
Really?
calendar, yeah. So it's gonna be spring, really. But to me, it's still winter in my head, because I have my own calendar, which is the one true calendar, of course.
Well, but the weather is a bit springy, no? Though.
Yeah, it is. That's true. Yeah, you're right. It feels more spring than wintry. I guess they're onto something. They've got a point now. You see that? So how are you, Mohair? Welcome back from Italy. I heard you had an interesting vacation.
Si, senor.
Is it gelato or gelato, by the way?
I think it's gelato. I mean, at least Sergi thinks so. It was really cute to hear how he like pretends so much that he knows Italian, because Italian is actually very, very close to Spanish. They understand each other. But yeah, I love Italian language. Being surrounded with that after being surrounded with French, like, it's really, really so pleasing. I love Italy. All my life, I think I'm trying to convince myself that the place doesn't matter. And I never in my life believed it. I think, like, how can it be possible that the place doesn't matter? I cannot fathom that. I think place is like 80% of things. 80% of, like, it's what I breathe, it's what I see, it's what I hear. Like, how place cannot matter. So it was really, really pleasant for both of us, I think, to be in a country that A, we can understand people in, B, we can afford living in very comfortably. And it was just warmer. It was 22 degrees. I know for you it doesn't sound like a brag, but it's winter here, really, really winter. And it was amazing. Like, in order to go to Italy, we went with a car. We had to cross the Alps. The Alps are the highest mountains, the tallest mountains in Europe. So it's really fascinating. Like, we were crossing first way in the dark, so I didn't see much. I saw a bit at the beginning, and there's a lot of tunnels, so it's pretty boring. And then when you go the other way, you actually see those freaking tunnels. They go through freaking mountains. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I'm going through a mountain, and I cannot understand it with my brain. Like, I don't understand. I don't know, like, how is it even happening? And then we are on the top, and there's a bridge connecting both mountains, and the bridge was so tall. It was not actually suspended. It was a bridge that had legs all the way till down. And I was looking at the bridge, and I was saying out loud, this shouldn't be happening. Why did they do this? And Sergio was like, come on, Adriana, do you know how many hours we are saving because of this bridge? Of course it should be happening. And I was like, no, doesn't matter how many people saved, what amount of hours. This is not worth it. This cannot be worth it. Like, it's so huge. It's so huge. I honestly, I'm very happy he drove, because, like, I am a bit scared sometimes when I drive, because I would have these philosophical thoughts in the midst of driving, and then I'm realizing that I'm driving like through the mountain or so many fucking meters above the ground, and I'm like, what? Like, I want to stop. I want to just brake in the middle and stop. And I'm like, what are we doing, people? You know? So, like, I'm really glad I didn't, because I had to beat myself with my thoughts like that before. And then it's a really weird situation to be in the car, especially alone. So I'm glad Sergi did all the driving. Very thankful for that. And it's actually pretty amazing. Like, I think it's one of those things that I'm the most amazed with my boyfriend after this trip. Like, how can you drive 4 hours, 1 hour in the traffic from all of that, and just be fine. Like, I was so tired after this trip. I was like sleeping, I got nauseous, then I was bored, then this and that. Like, I was, a bit uncomfortable. And it was just so tough to keep looking. My eyes were hurting. And he was like, yeah, no, I'm cool. I'm good. Actually, I don't need a nap. I don't need to break. I was like, what?
He's a rock climber. He has endurance and strength. If he can go and climb Mont Blanc, of course he can ride for 4 hours.
That's true. Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. That's true. I am not. I think that's my problem. My endurance is so low. Maybe not endurance, but willingness for endurance. I'm like, I don't want to. But yeah, you're right. And when he was driving, though, I was thinking, wow, one day, like, I'm a bit jealous of that. Like, I really want to one day, if I'm like, if I defeated all my nightmares and evils and struggles and all of that and pains, I really want to learn driving like that. Like, I don't mean driving, I can drive, but I want to learn to not be bothered by driving. That would be such a skill. I would be so proud of myself. And driving a van, imagine, this is a huge car, like, oh. But yeah.
I think you need to drive long enough to stop thinking about it while it's happening. Then the process becomes just mechanical. And you're busy with other things. Like, you're thinking about the past or the future. You're talking, you're eating, you're snacking.
Yeah.
You're busy listening to something. Like, it becomes about everything else that you're doing, not really that driving part. Like, I don't think when I'm riding a bike. I have no idea what's happening. I don't know where I am most of the time. I just start somewhere and I end up where I want to go. And most of the time, I'm somewhere else in my head. Somewhere. That's not the road and it's not the bike. Something else. It's a little bit dangerous, but alhamdulillah, so far so good.
Alhamdulillah. I mean, you had an accident. You remember that, right?
Yes. But that because I had expectations that it was a one-way road, but it was a two-way road. So just did not see them coming.
Okay. And that's a story how expectations can ruin your life experience.
Yeah. Oh, that was a terrifying experience. But now I'm more careful and slower than before. And just, I hope...
no expectations also.
I don't really wish to get into any accident. I was actually, back in the day, I was a little bit curious about accidents. Not anymore now. So, like, they can kill you, so...
I'm not surprised. All right, so yeah, you're right. I have never driven enough to not be bothered by it. Like, when I cycle, I really don't care. Like, cycling doesn't tire me as much as driving a car. I'm so exhausted. Yes, of course.
That's
and I know
crazy.
It's like, suppose the car that does the... I don't know, because... I don't know, like, I've just driven... I just cycled so much. I cycled so much in my life that at no point in my life it matters anymore, I think. It's just, I know this pain in my muscles so well. It doesn't matter. Like, if we keep cycling, it will stop, It's fine. But I was asking Sergi even, like, after 2 hours or something, I was like, your foot doesn't hurt? And he was like, from what? And I was like, from the clutch. What do you mean? And he was like, what? No, I guess I'm just... What do you mean? Like, I've been driving so much, my foot never hurts. And I'm like, wow, maybe I just made it strong, with driving and stuff. But he said, I don't know if it's normal. I don't think people hurt. Like, you're supposed to hurt. I hurt every time. I remember when I went to Spain and I did, we tried, with Sergi, we tried me driving their car for, like, one evening or two. I think two. Now I don't remember. And the next day, my foot hurt because this clutch is, and I don't know, this like position, like they always say, okay, adjust the seat and everything to you, right? But it's bullshit, right? Like, you can never adjust it so it's comfortable. Like, it's always like I'm always hitting my knee up, and then I don't have any more angle with my foot to actually have lifted all and stuff. Like, maybe I don't know how to drive.
You just need more time with the machine, and then you'll get the hang of it. It just takes time and adjustments being made along the way.
Okay, going back to Italy. Lots of amazing driving, crossing the mountains. And then driving back, there was snow in the mountains that I didn't see before. I was like, what? And then Sergi said, of course, we saw it from below. What did you think it was? I was like, I know, but like, it's so much.
It was just cotton
like,
candy.
Like clouds, little clouds in the... So yeah, it's super, super crazy to experience both of these temperatures within like 1 hour, basically, you know, since you start driving and up. For him, of course, it's no news, like he's ice climbing, so I guess he's seen it multiple times. Italians told me there's winter, and in winter there's no gelato, like if it's obvious. I wish I knew that, then I would like buy ice cream for this trip. We went to a place that is called Lago Maggiore, and it's famous for having islands there. There was palm trees. Of course, the person that I am, I stole. Like, okay, Sergi thinks that it's not palm trees that I stole, but I'm 90% convinced it is. There were like little leaves growing very close to palm trees. And when I took them out, they went away with the root. And then Sergi said, it's too easy for a palm tree to just go out like this. And I thought, palm tree is technically a grass. A grass should have little root, right? So I really believe it's a palm tree.
Grasses have long roots and they're tough bitches.
What? What? How? No, really?
For their size, I mean. If you have a photo of the little thing, you could just send it to me and I would use my dessert knowledge to be like, yes, no.
I don't. I would have to go to the kitchen and bring it. Should I?
Please. I really want to know now.
Okay. While I wait, you can like sing a mujer song,
sing a song.
Or something.
Okay. One day, in the middle of the desert, we saw a girl wearing fox orange pants with a brown balloon floating above her hands. She was talking to someone behind her. They were...
I heard everything. So amazing.
Yeah, it was...
It's such a pity that you are editing, because I know that you will probably want to delete that. No.
Of course I will delete
Don't.
that.
Resist.
Of course I will.
Okay.
Let me see.
So, this is two little things that I think might be palm trees. You think?
I'm not sure. My dessert knowledge has failed. I'm really sorry. Yeah.
That was fast.
But like, they are not our palm trees. Our palm trees look different. Have I just brought shame upon my people, not being able to recognize if a plant is a palm tree or a palm tree not?
Listen, that was an Italian palm tree, okay? That's a different story.
Sure, yes. You're right.
Okay. Anyway, I brought plants, and I brought something that I already told you before about, but I have no problem with just continue talking about this, which is a lot of gluten-free food. Because Italy, I don't know if I told you this before, they are #1 country with the amount of celiac people and gluten intolerant people.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, for real. Like,
damn.
I can kind of see why.
It's like all the pasta just did it for them. They're like, enough. Their bodies are like, enough gluten. No gluten, no more.
Yeah. Because, we are consuming too much gluten in our culture already. And then you think about, but Italians do that. And then you see, actually. Actually,
I had no idea.
Like, it's really... Yeah. So a lot of these things are really hard to get anywhere except of Italy, that I was talking about with the shopkeeper there. He was like, like Italians, they produce the best gluten-free ingredients and things because of that. But you know what was the best? The best was like, I forgot how it is anymore to do shopping without the necessity to look at the ingredients of every package. I was like so amazed that I can just take something from the shelf and just put it,
knowing it's halal. Wow. It's all halal for you.
Yes, exactly. It was like halal shop. I was just like, going for
I'm sure you were. I found some halal meat here in the store. I was surprised. Still haven't purchased any of it. Maybe one day. It doesn't look as good as the other meat next to it. It's hilarious. I don't know where they got it and why but yeah, I will try it then. I will know for sure if it's good or not.
I have a halal shop nearby here. Oh yeah, and then also we went to a different shop, just a market that for us is also like a Luna Park. Because I don't know, they had everything that we missed. Even we bought those little corks that you can make into special vase for pouring oil. We have like 5 types of oil in our house, so we bought those corks that you can.
That's very nice.
Yeah, no, it's amazing.
Is it olive oil, all of it?
No. We have 2 olive oils that are like different amount of pressing, I guess. We have avocado oil. Also, we have flavored oils like lemon, pepper.
Why do you have so many different kinds of oil?
It's depending on what we do. For example, if I'm making salmon salad, it's perfect with the avocado oil. But if I'm cooking, there's no way I will cook with avocado oil. It's too precious for that. So I'm just cooking with normal oil. And then, but if I'm frying, for example, risotto, then I will fry the onion on the basilic oil. Is it called basilic in English?
Basil.
Oh.
I just have 2 kinds of oil here. I have sunflower oil that I use for things to be fried, and I have olive oil that I use for like things like hummus and instant pizzas.
Yeah, I used to be like that. I think that's very normal.
I want to be more complex, like Harry. I want to have different sets of oils for different occasions.
I see you.
Different flavors.
You are just looking for anything to fill the void of your next shopping steps because
now I need to have a collection of
Rahman
oils.
Almost exactly. You're such a collector. Oh my god, you're just like my brother. He would just like collect things and never open them. I mean, you at least use them.
I use all of my things, all of them.
But you imagined like perfect matching sets of clothes, and now that your collection is almost done, you're just desperately looking for anything to collect. Why don't you collect
money?
Books.
Oh, you have no idea. I have like 20 gigabytes already from, do you remember Z Library?
Wait, do you have your own archive and it's your name Anne?
No, I used to do that, but I don't do this anymore. I came to this point where every time I found a book that looked interesting, I would download it and save it and never read it. Now that I know that the internet is always there and it will never go anywhere until the world ends, or I don't know, nuclear war starts or something. So I don't really feel the need to be doing this. I always feel like, it's going to be on the internet somewhere forever. But actually, I'm sure some of these items might disappear. Like, you never really know.
Yeah, for sure.
Somebody has to be putting them up.
But then the point is to read.
But I heard that in real life, people would buy books that they never read. Actually, I've never done that. Like every book I bought, I actually read.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. I was never collecting books. Yeah. My father would collect books, but he would go and buy a lot of books and then he would read them slowly. But he read also all of them, always. Yeah.
I think I also at least start all of the books that I bought. But I have a lot of books I never read because they were a gift, maybe, or I received it some other way than being gifted.
Like I got a book as a gift for my birthday recently. I'm like, what do I do with it after I read it? Do I keep it and carry it along?
You give it to someone on their birthday.
Or do I give it to someone on their birthday? Exactly. Or do I exchange it for another book? Like, I'm like, what do I do with it? Because if I read it once, I'm not going to read it again. I'm not the kind of person who reads books twice.
Well, what I would do is I would borrow books a lot of times. Like if the book is very good, I'm like, okay, I want to have it. Like I want to look at it and remember how this read was. And then I can also borrow it to other people. So there is some books that I decided I want to have. And this book that I gifted you, weirdly, is one of those books. I still don't have it.
Oh, then I know the right person to gift it to.
Perfect, yeah. So you can just send it back to me, Actually, I want this book.
With UPS to see how different the experience would be between UPS Switzerland and UPS Vietnam. So Mohair, I heard that you have prepared something for me. a list of artists and stories of museums that you visit.
No. You got it a bit wrong.
Last time we talked, you gave me a hint of what it was all about, just a hint. You give me 5 names and a very brief introduction of each one of these names. So what did I get right? What did I get wrong again?
So I don't want to tell you about like some story of my museums or something. I just wanted to tell you about my visit in one particular museum. All right?
The Museum of Modern Art.
Yes, this museum is called MOCO, and I went to the one that is in Barcelona. They have 2 other buildings, I think, around the world. I'm very, very afraid of this story because I think I might get very critical about this museum, as I really didn't like this experience. Highly didn't like the experience. So I don't want it to sound like that I was very quick to judge. I want to give you a bit of a background. I think, learned to enjoy modern art. Okay, to begin with, modern art is very, very broad of a topic. You know, it's very hard to say, oh, I like art, or oh, I like modern art or not. Sure, I like, crime stories, but there is some I will not like, right? Or I don't like horror movies, but there is some horror movies that I will actually enjoy, of course, and I think it's normal. So modern art's difficult. I think it's very, very tough, and I've been trying to learn to look at it better, let's say. This past year, 2023, I was 24, right? Yeah, so 23. Me and my boyfriend, we visited a lot of museums. We were lucky enough to travel a lot, and in each places I tried to visit some museum. And I visited modern museums, especially in the Netherlands, but also in the UK and London. We went to Tate Gallery, which is very famous, and it was very endearing. They actually made me very calm. Just with, I really felt touched with the gallery in London. They even have small explanations about how to approach it, you know? Like, if you feel overwhelmed, just try to look at the colors. Do you think it's simple? Do you really think they are the same? Can you look a bit closer? Can you think what these colors mean to you? Like, really little approaches that after looking at some amount of artworks make you think, you know? And also, even though I'm no expert, I really could tell in Ted that majority of the art, or maybe everything, I don't know, but the majority was good. Like, it felt really great to be in atmosphere of this art. And honestly, for me, this is mainly what art experience is usually about. Feelings. I don't like art that offends me, for example, calls me stupid or something like that. I'm bored. When I'm bored with art, it's also not great, I think. So that's just like a little bit of a background and context on how I even judge my experience, okay, when visiting art. When it comes to this particular one, I think it's also worth mentioning about my expectations, because usually I have, I think, higher expectations about art when I go to a museum. For example, during this trip, I visited also a Picasso museum and one of the national museums that is in Barcelona. And both of them I really loved. The Picasso museum I visited before, so I knew exactly what to expect, but I expected even more, and I actually got even more. So that was really great. I felt so inspired. I felt so amazed. Even today, I'm really blown away of how great of an artist Picasso was. And then this museum. So this museum is actually even situated physically in a street in Barcelona that just has a lot of art in it. But I also always saw a patio from the street of this museum. And there was this huge sculpture there. I unfortunately don't remember of whom. But I always thought that this museum is not worth it. Like, not worth my time. And then when my friend suggested, let's go to this museum, we actually went because the other museum were closed. It was Monday. And I was like, I always try to avoid this because blah, blah, blah. And she was like, well, but they have Banksy there and Basquiat. Like, let's give it a try. It's like, okay, that's true. Like, it was just a vibe that I didn't like. So I was like, okay, I have very little expectations. Don't expect nothing, just some good artwork. So let's go. And even this with little expectations, I felt like I was quite disappointed. And when I took the guide, because it was pink, I like the pink color. And when you open the guide, there is the message from the founders. And it says, we use the power of art to challenge the norm, champion the truth, open up minds, and question the world around us. We talked about the artists that were there a little bit before, but usually when I look at art, I don't find the artist the most important part. And I think it's kind of obvious. Like, I look at the painting, and then I look at the title, and then I look at the artist, usually. And then I'm like, oh, wow, that's this guy, I heard about him, or something like that. Or I look and I'm like, oh, it looks like Miro. And then I look and, oh, it is Miro, or it's not Miro, things like that. But this museum, I felt like it had only names. It didn't feel like an art gallery. It felt like a display of art celebrities. So instead of explanation about what the piece of art was supposed to mean, maybe, or what collection it comes from, or something like that. Of course, sometimes it happened. But sometimes there was just the explanation about why this artist is amazing. And even sometimes his, like, inspirational quote, which, like, it was so shocking because at the beginning I was a bit confused, and then I realized they tried to sell me those artists, and I was like, what, but why? What's the point? Like, why do you want to convince me that Dali was really a great one, Like, let his artwork speak for him. But no, so this, I think this lack of, I don't want to call it depth because I don't want to, like, sound like a douche.
Well, you've called it shallow, and you sound like a douche already, so you might as well.
So I do call it shallow again then. For me, it is a bit shallow. Like, it sounded like they need to explain that the artist is really great. So I just blindly believe that the artwork is also great. Instead of just trusting me that I will see with the artwork and be touched with that to just appreciate the artist through that, It felt a little bit like sometimes you have, I'm really not a big fan of Netflix movies, for example, like produced by Netflix, because I feel like they don't trust me. They don't trust the viewer, they don't trust the audience. Sometimes there is some, I don't know, like in a normal movie, there is someone really moves the eyes this or the other direction to show that maybe they are lost. And you have me, the viewer, and I'm thinking, maybe something is wrong. Like, maybe there will be connection. And I'm wondering and then figuring out stuff myself. But in those Netflix movies, there is just like 5-second shot, zoom into his eyes that just go right. And everything is like so unsubtle, so in your face, that there's no space left for me to think about anything, actually. It's just like flat. There's no mystery. There's no creative work for me to do. There's no little jigsaw puzzle to solve, It's just given away. And while sometimes it might be amusing, I was really shocked to experience this in an art museum, in an art gallery. Like, I never experienced it before. I was very used to it being in the eye of beholder, Like, I am looking and it depends a lot on me, on how I will take it. And here suddenly I felt like they just take my hand and they show me, this is nice. This is even better. And this, he he was really famous and he was really successful, you know? And I'm like, okay, so I guess I'll take a picture. And also this. Other people, because I felt, at the beginning, I felt like a bit lost. Because I didn't know, like, I didn't feel like I felt like they want me to take pictures. Like, literally. They were like places that were picture friendly, let's say, and they described like, oh, look at this and stuff like this. Really think about this author because he won so many prizes and this and that. And then I was like, no way that they just like, imagine that I will start like being amazed just because of how they describe the artist. But people actually took so many pictures, like with themselves. And then when I saw people taking selfies with or posing with every artwork, and these artworks were very like posable too, you know, they were very bright colors or patterns, very big. Then it kind of clicked in my mind that I think my expectations maybe weren't too big or too low. They were just wrong, in a wrong alley. Because it's not, I think, supposed to be an art experience. It's supposed to be fun experience. So all in all, I think it was just one big tourist attraction. Like in this museum, I really noticed how important exhibition design is. Because when you don't notice it, it means it was done, I think, very well. And here suddenly you see one artist, one artwork next to another. And like to me, it was such a shock, like so distracting, one and the other one. And it was so cramped also. And I was like so uneasy with that. Then I realized, wow, like I wish it was prepared in this way that I sometimes meet in other museums when everything is kind of boring, but then so smooth, you know. Also, what I don't like in any museum, and they also did that, there was no place to sit. I really like sitting because sometimes I spend in museums a lot of hours. And if there is no place to sit or no bar to have a coffee or a little snack or something, it's impossible basically to spend more than 3 or 4 hours in a museum. And that sucks. Because if I want to really look at something, take notes, I usually take notes. I used to sketch, but because of these things, it's very hard, like to be able to spend so much time to sketch. So I take notes now. Yeah, but if they don't put any chairs or anything, like then I also had bad back then, so I just couldn't. Then I thought about what these artists think about being in this gallery. Because my thought was like, oh, I would hate to be hanging here, you know? Like just one, a long display, like just a commercial, like Walk of Fame or something, like just my name being a neon. But then I thought, okay, maybe those artists don't mind, because maybe that's exactly the point of this thing they said at the beginning, you know? They told me that they want to challenge the norm. Maybe they are challenging this norm of an art gallery on purpose. So anyway, I really hated the experience. But it gave me a lot of food for thought afterwards. And I think that maybe I'm glad I had this experience, just to have these thoughts and to wrestle a little bit with my ego and my opinions. Would I go again? No. Would I recommend it? No. But maybe it's good. Maybe I needed a bit of humility there, you know? What do you think?
Well, since this is a gallery or exhibition of modern art, so we're speaking of modern times and the rules of modern times, and what you're saying, how you're describing it, really, really fits into the kind of values that we have today. Okay, that's a big name, that's a cool thing, that's a big shot. Well, great, let's take a photo with it. Must be really good, a really good piece of work, you know? It's a really good piece of art because this really famous, well-known person made it. So it's all about setting the image, and that's the image. And
you know, like here in Lausanne, we have this this painting that is all red. It's huge canvas, huge. It goes through all the wall, stretches over, and it's just one color red. Just painted like that. And I love this. I don't know why. Like I love sitting there, and it's so red. Yeah, I know it's only red, but it's so red. Like it's so intense. Like I love it. And Sergio always laughs at me. Like you're like, I can paint it for you, And I'm like, no, you can't. Probably actually you can't. Like I don't know how to achieve such a deep color with the paint, and then still somehow makes me appreciate this experience. And somehow the other thing made me not appreciate the experience. This museum kind of proves what sometimes people use to joke from art, like, oh, I'll just paint whatever and see, maybe someone sells it for like 1 million. And I don't know if one of those amazing artists maybe paints anything and puts it in this gallery, yeah, it will get super famous. It will get super expensive. So that's a joke.
It could just be a banana taped to the wall.
Yes. Exactly. And yeah, does it prove something? Sure. Is it nice to experience? No, not really.
Or it could just be a really, really red painting.
I don't know why I like this painting. I really do.
I actually wouldn't mind the red one. I mean, it's cool. It's all right. I don't really care, When I go to art galleries, I'm trying to basically experience something different. Mm-hmm. Something that I don't see every day. And museums, I like the ones that are about history. Mm-hmm. But the ones that go to an artistic side, for me also, it's just a new kind of experience. I ask myself, would a painting make me feel things? And then I would go and look at paintings. Would they make me things? Would I think differently about life or the world? And so far, it's just me looking at the painting and basically cracking mental jokes inside my head.
I imagine, yeah. I think appreciating art is hard. I think it takes a lot of effort and it's work, even, I would say. Like I've been trying to do it for years. Sometimes I succeed fully, I think. Sometimes I struggle, like here. You're in a good way, yeah. But I think it's not easy. It's not like you're going and you're like, oh, cool, or not cool, or something like that. Like I don't know how to call it. I don't want to call it spiritual, but there is this specific approach to art that you kind of have to be open to, I guess. It's very, very difficult to explain to me.
I think my favorite pieces of art are all here on the wall in my room because they're made by people
like
that I know and I appreciate in different ways. So I have this beautiful artwork of the mohair and then I have another beautiful artwork of Ola.
Other mujer.
And then I have a very interesting one, the shithead one. It's somebody doing yoga and his head is just a pile of shit, not a real head.
Really? I haven't seen this one.
Okay, I'll send it to you. Like, I have some nice pieces here and they were all drawn or painted by people I know personally because, well, half the time I asked for it and the other half they were just given voluntarily. And of course I did not force anybody to give them to me, but but yeah. So I like that. It's personal. I like this. It speaks to me because it tells a story of a person or a day or a time that was. Mm-hmm. So I think I appreciate context a lot. So maybe if there's some context in my head about a piece of art and when I look at it, maybe I would actually feel something or some kind of connection to painting. But most of the time when I look at a painting, I'm like, cool.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, maybe sometime you will see a painting that you will see a context of, that you will just like understand the context or see the context or imagine a context just because of what's there. I wanted to say that I really can't wait for the day that you have kids and they are in this phase that they are just drawing things and you save every single of these drawings and like you have a huge gallery of just like very, very precious artworks of your kids.
Of course. Because then it's my baby's art. It's going to be the best art ever, even though it's going to be shit, but who cares?
Yeah, I totally believe that, yeah.
So yeah, like I
But that's
said, all the
understandable.
paintings that you paint and hate after you finish painting, I'll take all of them. I'll just take all of them.
But the problem is, if I hate them, I don't want them to hang anywhere. Probably, you know, it's
I will hide
embarrassing.
them. they'll be hanging in there, hidden
What's the
away,
point?
hidden away from people's eyes. Just my eyes can see them.
Okay, deal. I have to admit that here in Switzerland, that's something that I really appreciate. No matter what museum I go to, it's so well designed. Like, I always know where to go. I always know what's happening. I always know the context. That it's actually very pleasant no matter what museum you go to. You know,
Yeah.
like, even I'm not a fan of history, but I went to archaeological museum here, historical museum. I even went to hand museum, and all of them, even if I didn't like the actual works, I enjoyed the experience because I don't know, it has hands and legs, you know, it makes sense.
Okay.
So it's a
Hands
saying we have in
museum.
Poland. If something, yes,
Wow.
it was an awkward one.
Okay, thank you, Moher, for this beautiful review of the Moog Museum.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for listening. I actually came back to people like this week. I watched a few videos of people that I used to watch when I was holding with my last straws of strength to Christianity and Catholicism myself. And there was this priest, a monk actually, that I would listen to. And he's very leftist, like he's very liberal. And there was this girl that liked him. Like, actually, I think he gave her and her boyfriend wedding. Like, he was the one that wedded them. I remembered she had similar views to me and was kind of like making her way. And he says, for example, that we don't have to believe in miracles, all of them, that a lot of it is just a symbol and stuff like that. And a lot of people, also from church, accuse him of what you accused me of before. Like, you cannot pick and choose. Like, that's what it says. Like, why you're taking just your interpretation over it. Like, you are not a real believer. But he's still in his monastery and everything. But she is not a believer anymore.
I really don't like that approach of picking things and leaving others, because I think that religion, how we have it, came to be for reasons, okay? And it formed this way.
Yeah, I disagree with you. I disagree because there is no idea that this amount of people could possibly agree one-mindedly. There's no concept, no story, no nothing that 1 million of people, we are too different, and it's beautiful. We are too individualistic that we even see, hear, accept everything, things differently. So I think that's the argument this guy makes. Like, I am in church, but we are so many different people in this church. What's important is we believe in this God, and we agreed on it. But in between, we fight between each other on what's true and what's not, because it's just normal. Look at any country, look at any group, look at family. Like, no matter how similar our value systems even will be, or we can read the same book and disagree on what actually happened. Like, we will always be different, and still we can be all called Christians. I mean, that's his argument. I didn't believe in God, so obviously I wouldn't join this anymore. But
I disagree with that.
But I think it makes sense. I think it's naive to think that all those people even believe in this. Like, I don't think Christians in Cambodia and Christians in Poland have any similar concept of this religion. They are so different. It's still the same church. It still is.
Rolling my eyes big time at this philosophy.
Okay. I know, Rahman, and I'm totally respecting this. I know, you know, and I saw that I drifted too far away, but I just think that the spectrum of it is much bigger than what you
No,
accept.
what you are saying is all beautiful, is all wonderful. Sure, yes, we're all different people, we're all individuals. Look at countries, look at religious groups, etc., etc. Yes. However, the problem is we still can all call ourselves Catholic or Christian. Now, it's just like, how do you identify? I identify as a black person, or I identify as a Mexican. Or now it's just becoming like this cool thing. You can just be whoever you want to be because it's. Now, how about the definition of what that is? There are no definitions anymore. Like, you can just claim anything and act like you're it. Come on, it shouldn't be
There
this
is.
way.
Look, I am not Catholic anymore. I am not. But I think when you met me, I was. And I made a statement and I saw what is essential to keep being that, and I saw it's not that anymore and stuff like this. But I just think that the spectrum that you see it within is very, very narrow, and in reality it's a bit wider. I'm not saying it's wide as the world. It's not. But it is slightly wider. That's it. Like, I know that it would be terrible if definitions lost their meaning. Of course, it's terrible, you know? But I don't think it's going that far. Of course, the line has to be somewhere in the middle, but it cannot be in this black and white, all or nothing.
No, it's not black and white for me. You could still believe in God. It's fine. But if you're going to call yourself a Catholic and at the same time you do not believe that Mary was virgin and that Jesus died on a cross and came back to life after 3 days, etc., etc. If you don't believe in the original story, then how and why would you be identifying as a Catholic? It doesn't make sense. Like, you're breaking the most essential rules out there. It doesn't make sense of belief. You could identify as another kind of Christian, but not as a Catholic.
That's different. That's different if I believe in God and I believe in Jesus, yes, and I believe in Mary, yes. I just don't believe her being virgin or not really matters. And I think it's disgusting, people talking about it. It's very, very different than you not believing that Muhammad had a connection with God, because this is the pillar, you know? And if I believe in all those people existing and actually being quote unquote saint, and I believe in their value system, everything. I think it's a bit enough.
Okay, as a Catholic, when you were a Catholic, did you believe that all these saints were performing miracles or not?
Well, it's so many saints that you cannot know about all of them. But I did believe in saints, yes. I did believe that there is this saint somewhere there, despite being dead, that had special, more power of some kind. For example, Saint Francis was the one I really liked a lot. Towards nature, towards animals, towards being humble and stuff like that. And I did look up to that. And I did believe he was a saint. But some people believe they made magic tricks, literally, you know? They were like superhumans. And I did not believe it. Now, which truth is true? We don't know. There is no real truth. There's no real truth.
No, there is. They're all stories.
Yeah, they're all stories. Some of those people never existed.
Exactly.
There's Catholics that believe that everyone will, no matter if you believe or not, now, after you die, you will be met with God and you will be left a choice. You will be asked, now you see I'm here, you can pick. You with me or you're not. And
That's
they
cute.
are Catholics, and it is according to Bible. It is one of the, it's not wrong
cute.
at all.
It's very cute.
Yes, it's cute. But you see, it doesn't even require any servitude.
More on that another time.
Yeah, true. Okay.
It's 2 hours of recording, and I have to cut all of these into 20 minutes somehow.
Yes, good luck. I just wanted to make a statement to you that I will not be that butchering this time.
I'm a butcher this one. I'm a butcher. It's so good.
Okay, no, butcher it good. Butcher it good, Mujer. I am tired of listening to like half an hour podcast. I want a longer one, so I will make myself one, okay?
So make
Being honest.
episode 6 long again, and I'll keep 7 short.
Yeah.
All right? Understood.
All right, thank you for podcasting.
Yeah.
Good recording
Right,
today.
see you next time.
Thanks.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.